Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Pokey. Yes, sir. Too rich for sunglasses. Today we're going to be talking about a Team Rocket Joey video where he is absolutely right, and you guys need to listen if you want to start a Pokemon card business. I'm also going to be pointing out some clips from the Pokey office. He did a live stream with Moth Dog, and I thought they had some good points as well. And as an added bonus, I'm going to tell you guys a strategy that I use as a vendor for a few distribution companies that, again, if you want to start a Pokemon card business, you're going to want to listen to. If you are a general collector, this won't be that interesting to you, but buckle up, Buttercup, regardless.
Because they're gonna make these distributors take the boxes no matter what happens to the market. And distributors are gonna make their account holders take the boxes from them no matter what happens to the market. And a lot of people are gonna lose their distribution access because they're in over their head and they have no idea what they're doing. And then this is their first time ever running a business. This is their first time ever selling Pokemon cards. This is their first time ever seeing a market that's this euphoric. This is the first time, and it's going to be the last time for a lot of people. And it's going to be funny. It's going to be extremely funny once the internet realizes that the Team Rocket cosplayer.
He's absolutely correct. So the premise of this video is reprints confirmed, everything's going to go to zero, which is obviously hyperbolic, but at some point things will settle down. And I've talked about this many times, and I don't know if people don't believe me or if people just aren't interested, but everything he said is exactly spot on, because when the market does correct and the easy tendies are no longer available, all of these new businesses that have come out over the past year and a half to two, they are going to crumble. Absolutely crumble. And I'm talking about all the car dealerships that have Pokemon cards now too. The amount of just random businesses, gas stations, like all sorts of businesses that carry Pokemon cards, they are going to lose their distribution and never get it back. And let's talk about why. He already kind of touched on it. So right now, if you have distribution and you're lucky enough to receive Pokemon cards, it is literally free money. Whatever the distribution company gives you, as long as it's not theme decks, shout out my throne, you can pretty much double or triple your money overnight. And for the most part, a lot of newer stores aren't getting that much product. Nostalgianomics shares one of my distributors, and despite what people think about him getting all this stuff for his rip and ships, he does not get much at all. He's still very new, and most of the stuff he gets is from the secondary market. But there are some newer people that do have distribution access and do get a decent amount of product. One of those people being Colin from the Poke office. I believe he got distribution a little earlier than Nomics, and I'm pretty sure he has a different distributor, but he's actually getting some decent product. I'll play a quick clip of his real fast before I continue on.
These tins, Colin, we need to move them because we're getting new shipments of Mega Evolution in. And just because they wanted to move them doesn't mean they're giving me a good deal. They're still charging me $50. But
he's talking about his distributor sending him product for market price, which is pretty typical right now.
The offer was out there. My rep said, "Hey, Colin, do you want to take some of these off of our hands?" Yep, I do. Please send them to me so that next time he asks, there might be something really good. And those tins actually were really good. They had 3 Destined Rivals packs in them. I'm happy to carry Destined Rivals.
Yeah.
But that's the whole goal. Like, say yes. Say yes. Try and find a way to pay that part of the card off. Try and find a way to make a little bit of profit. Go to card shows and make a bunch of profit, and then keep breaking even again, and then get a big allocation of Mega Evolution, and then make some profit there, and then put all of that profit back in so that I can break even and break even and break even, and hopefully my allocation for Phantasmal Flames is bigger again. Exactly Pokey strategy. The only difference is I haven't actually...
I'm flattered, Colin. Thank you. So what Colin is talking about is the game of taking anything the distribution company offers you, because if you treat them well, they'll treat you well. Colin is going to be somebody who is A-okay when the market shifts, because Colin understands the game. We're going to talk more about him in the Poke office in a minute, but Team Rocket Joey, what he's saying is a lot of people don't understand the game. Most of the people that receive distribution access in the past 2 years, they actually suck at business. They have no idea what they're doing, as he stated very eloquently. They have not an ounce of business acumen in them. They don't hold on to capital, and their website sucks. Also, they probably do rip and ships, which for the most part are going to die one day unless you are one of the big dogs, or you will just get sick of it because as someone that used to do rip and ships full time, it is just exhausting mentally, physically, spiritually. Rip and ships suck if you do them as much as most of the people out there. But I digress. What's going to happen is just like Joey says, distribution is going to get a ton of stuff from Pokemon once Pokemon gets their printing situation straightened out. They are going to force distribution to take this product, and distribution is going to go, oh no, we have to spend, X amount of million on cards. We need to move this as well. Distribution is going to force that upon the vendors. That's the me's and my competitors. And if we can't move that product, we are cooked. So let me explain how it works a little bit more. We don't just get product thrown at us necessarily. We order it and they decide how much of our order they're going to fulfill. So for Mega Evolutions and for Dust and Rivals, I ordered $750,000 of it. Now I got a very small fraction of the 750K that I ordered, but let's say I didn't. Let's say distribution recently got $10 million of Dust and Rivals from the Pokemon Company, and they see my order for 750K. I committed to that, and at that point, they send me 750K whether I want it or not. So you might be wondering, well, Brian, why wouldn't you want $750,000 in Dust and Rivals? That's easy money. Well, here's why. Because when Journey Together came out, pre-orders for Dust and Rivals opened up. You pre-order a set about a month and a half before it comes out. Like, for example, I pre-ordered Phantasmal Flames weeks ago. So what's going to happen at some point is we're going to put pre-orders in and we're going to get cocky. I'm going to order $750,000 of ME6 because ME5 was super hot. And there's a chance that Pokemon is like, oh, by the way, distributors, yeah, we figured our printing out and we have a gajillion of these. Here you go. And distribution is going to look at my invoice and go, oh, cool, he ordered $750,000 worth. Brian, where's your money at? Invoice, invoice, invoice. And for the record, I'm doing quite well, but I don't really have like $1 million in cash laying around at any given time. So I would need to start selling pre-orders. That's why people used to do pre-orders, because they'd order more stuff than they could actually afford. Now, if for whatever reason I couldn't do pre-orders, I'd have to, panic sell once I get them. And that's ultimately how the market starts dropping. Now, that's best case scenario. That's assuming I can either, do enough pre-orders to afford my invoice or be confident enough that I could panic sell enough to pay the invoice off. What's going to happen to most people who don't have at least $500,000 in the bank if they order a stupid amount like I did is they're going to have to deny their distributor their order. They're going to have to say, sorry, Southern Hobby. I know I ordered $500,000 of ME6 because ME5 was hot, but TCG Player says ME6 sucks. No one wants this set. The hype sucks. The main legendary sucks. The waifu trainers suck. And now no one wants it. So sorry, Southern Hobby, I can't pay you $500,000 for ME6. The Southern Hobby is going to go, well, that's too bad, Timmy, because we ordered that much from Pokemon. And yeah, you're done. You're blacklisted. You're done. And just like that, Timmy, who ordered $500,000 of ME6, no more distribution. And that's what happened to a lot of folks in the Fusion Strike Battle Styles Chilling Reign era. His video titles, it's 2021 all over again. What happened? So let's talk about that era. So as you guys know, there was a shitload of Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, and Battle Styles to the point where on TCG Player, the market price of $90 was actually less than the price that distribution was offering. Like, we paid more than the market price for the 3 worst sets at the time. I know, crazy to say that, but at the time, no one wanted those sets because Pokemon printed the shit out of them. Now, the reason I was able to get so many of them, well, technically they were forced upon me. I didn't want all the stuff I got. The reason I was able to get those, though, is because all of the Pokey NEs from 2020 to 2021, they got cocky, just like what's going to happen again, and they ordered a quarter million, a half million, $750,000 worth of Fusion Strike, thinking that it would be this $195 set. And then when the market didn't confirm that, those people had to reject their invoice. And the Southern Hobbies and all the other distribution companies were like, okay, bye bye. You left us with the bag and we're going to go bye bye. And they got fired. And then new accounts like mine and my competitors, they were like, hey, new guys, yeah, we'll give you Brilliant Stars and the other hot sets, but we've got all this Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, and Battle Styles lying around from these Timmies that couldn't afford it. So, if you buy 10 cases of Fusion Strike, we'll give you 1 case of Brilliant Stars. That's the deal. That was the deal at the time. And so I took it, just like Colin, who was saying, the Pokey office, who was saying, no matter what distribution offers him, he takes it because he knows that if you kiss their ass, they will kiss yours. And that's what happened in 2021. A bunch of Timmies ordered too much. They got fired from distribution. New guys like me came in. We kissed their ass, and now they're kissing ours. I'm getting way more Mega Evolution, Destined Rivals Journey Together than most of the other people. Now, it's still way less than what I want, and it's way less than what I've received in the past on past sets, but I'm getting more than a lot of my competitors because I did the Pokey Office strategy. He calls it the Pokey Any strategy of always saying yes to the distribution. And that's kind of a whole different topic than what Team Rocket Joe is talking about. But Team Rocket Joe is better clickbait, so that's why he's on there. But yeah, he's absolutely correct. There is going to be an absolute shitstorm, carnage on the average Pokemon card business who came into this thinking that the free tendies would last forever. It's probably going to happen to me because what I'm going to do for the set after Phantasmal Flames, I'm going to order about $1 million of it, assuming that Pokemon is still a little bit behind on printing and I'm going to get $200,000 of it. Because it's usually a percentage. They'll be like, oh, yeah, he ordered $1 million worth. He's had really good, purchasing power lately. He's been buying all the junk that no one wants. Based on his previous spend and based on his order, we're going to give him this many. That's how it typically works. So they're going to give me whatever percent and I'm going to get it. And it's probably going to be fine. But if Pokemon prints ME3 to demand and I order $1 million of it, I might be really screwed because I don't have $1 million cash in the bank. So I'm going to have to panic sell. I'm going to have to do pre-orders and I'm going to have to explain to my wife why we have a $1 million invoice and only X amount of money in the bank. It'll be fine, but for a lot of people, it won't be fine. Now, here's where things get really interesting. When that does happen, when all these Timmies that Joey here is talking about reject their invoice from their distribution companies, those distribution companies, just like in 2021, they're going to contact the big dogs, me, Alpha Investments, by then Nostalgianomics, and they're going to go, hey, a bunch of Timmies rejected their ME3 invoice. How many do you want? And the smart people, the smart big dogs are going to go, I want everything that you need to get rid of. 3 pallets, 4 pallets, $1 million worth if possible. And that's going to begin the good rapport for 2028 when there's a new bull market. That's how things work. When Surging Sparks came out and the other popular sets, Twilight Masquerade, I got a shitload more than a lot of other people did who have my distribution companies, and they got really pissy about it. Some of them called my distribution companies that we share, and they bitched about it, and it ended up getting me in trouble because the distribution companies didn't want the drama. I know who you are. And the reason they were bitching wasn't because I was getting preferential treatment on Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, etc. It was because I bought all the Paldea Evolved, the Paradox Rift, the Obsidian Flames that the Timmies before me couldn't afford. That's the game. All of these people, Alpha Investments, me, other people at that, well, he's way up here, I'm down here, but people in the 7 to 8 figure range, the only reason that our businesses are worth 7 to 8 figures is because we buy when the market's bad and people are like, oh yeah, buy low, sell high. Yes, absolutely. That's like the investor mindset. But what's more valuable is not buy low, sell high for the sake of it. It's buy when the market's bad and the distributors are desperate, and then get rewarded when the market's good and the distributors want to thank you. Catch 'em all collectibles, he said in several live streams that his greatest like investment play was getting distribution. He talked about buying some sets that have gone up a gajillion percent. He talked about good investment plays, blah blah blah. But he always goes back to the best ROI, the best like EV, I think is the word he uses, is getting distribution. Because if you do it right, they will treat you like gold. And the people Team Rocket Joey is referring to, the Timmies, the business people who don't actually know how to run a business, they are going to be the ones to get me rich because they're not going to be able to afford ME6 when they buy $1 million worth of it, thinking they're going to make 2 million, and in reality, it gets printed to the ground, and they bought $1 million of it, and it's worth $1 million. Breaking even doesn't work well in this business unless you have a lot of capital. I was actually going to make a video called How to Make $10 Million as a Pokemon Card Salesman. And people would have thought that that title was hyperbolic. They would have went, well, $10 million, that's kind of grifty, Brian. No, I could literally teach you how to make $10 million in the Pokemon card business. It's actually very easy. But what you have to do in order to make $10 million in Pokemon, I'm talking profit, by the way, I'm not going revenue. Anyone can sell $10 million of cards if they have distribution. $10 million in profit, it's actually very easy. You do all the stuff I talked about, all the stuff that the Poke Office talked about, and you do it for 20 years. It's simple, but it's a long run. And anyone that thinks you can make $10 million in profit in less than 10 to 20 years, you're insane. You're stupid. Now, how exactly would you make $10 million in profit over 10 to 20 years? Well, you do. You kiss the distributor's ass when the market is bad and no one wants the product. You take the product, and just like Colin at the Poke Office said, you sell it and you break even. Sometimes you even lose money. All you're trying to do is get as much money back so it's ready for the next invoice. You don't try to make profit on this stuff. We're going to talk about something very interesting after this. You just buy as much as you reasonably can sell at break even, and you do that every single time. Now, you might be going, well, Brian, I need to make some money. I need a job. You keep your job. You keep it. When I started out with Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign and Battle Styles, I worked for Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate, and I sold Fusion Strike for $90 a box. I was buying it at about $90 a box. And I just did that with all 10 cases. I did it with Evolving Skies, RIP. I sold it for like 130. I did it with Chilling Reign. I did it with Battle Styles. I did it with all the EX boxes. I did it with the Mimikyu boxes, the Cyclizar boxes, the ETBs. I just bought as much as I could afford on my credit card, and I sold it at a slight loss or break even. And what you're doing is you're buying a ticket. So if you buy $10,000 of booster boxes and you only get $9,500 back, you just sell it at a slight loss. Well, you spent $500 as an investment towards your distribution company. You bought a $500 ticket. How did you afford the $500 ticket? You kept your real job and you explained to your spouse that this is an investment into my business. We're going to make $10 million. Don't worry about it too much. Now, obviously, that might be extreme. Maybe a $500 loss is too much. Use your brains, guys. It could be a $50 loss. Like, use your noggins. These numbers are adjustable. You do that for 2 to 3 years when there's a bear market. That's about how long these things last. He's talking about 2021 here. It's been a few years since then. That's about right. Then, when the bull market comes, the bull market of 2028, the bull market of 2031, the bull market of 2035, then your distribution company is like, oh, wow, he bought all these Gen 10 and Gen 11 sets that no one wanted, and now Gen 12's here, and oh my god, Generation 12 is insane. We're going to hook this guy up because he treated us good for the past 5 years. Then you make your millions. Then you're going to get 2,000 boxes of, Gen 11 set 5. You're going to get 4,000 boxes of Gen 12 set 6. And you can sell those for double, triple, quadruple what you pay distribution for. And then you just get all the money. Now, what you do with that money is you don't buy a Lamborghini. You don't buy a Rolly. You don't buy a mansion. You don't buy a pool. You keep enough of it to live off. You can quit your day job now. You've got plenty of money to pay down your mortgage, pay down your debt, your student loans, your credit cards, and you take a good chunk of it and you put it into a different bank account or some high yielding whatever. Be smart with it. Don't like lose it to inflation. You put a big chunk of it aside and you keep it there until the next bear market. I know, ironic, right? And then you use all that money to kiss your distributor's ass again, and you rinse and repeat. And if you do that for 5 to 8 bear bull market cycles, you will have $10 million in profit. 100%. Yes, I have numbers uh, that justify that. I am on the road to profit about $10 million if these cycles continue at about a 4 year, up and down for the next 20 years. If I told you you're guaranteed to make $10 million in 20 years, if you're smart, you would take that. 20 years goes by fast, guys, and $10 million is a lot of money. It might be faster than that. I'm just saying, all these people, these Timmies, they come in here and they think, oh, yeah, I can go to Walmart and triple my money overnight. Yeah, that's awesome, but it's not real money. It's not life-changing money. Even if you make 10 grand flipping shit because you bought a Costco pallet, okay, good for you. You're probably going to waste half of that on a freaking Disney vacation. So I'm not talking about the average flipper. I'm talking about someone that actually wants to make millions of dollars and buy whatever Lamborghini they want once they hit the 10 mil. I'm not being exaggeratory. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm being dead ass serious. This is the way to do it. Now, going with the what Pokey Office was saying and buying stuff that distributors kind of hand off at you in order to kiss their ass. I was actually talking to one of my distributors on the phone the other day, and I was like, "Hey, I know I've been ordering a lot of Pokemon product, and I know you've been offering me a lot of junk product over the past several months, but is there something else I can do to boost my ranking and spend more money in order to get more ME3, ME4, ME5, whatever?" And he's like, "Well, obviously you can't boost your ranking buying more Pokemon because everyone wants Pokemon and there's no more Pokemon left." So he's like, you can buy supplies that will boost your ranking. And as I'm talking to him, I'm literally adding Ultra Pro products to a cart in the distribution website. And I'll read off what I ordered. I don't want to show you guys the screen because then I don't want to show you the screen. I ordered Snap Binders, Pokemon Red Snap Binders. I ordered 50 for roughly, we'll say $100. I ordered 9 Pocket Pokemon SV9. I got the portfolio, 50 of those. I ordered 200 SV10 portfolios, 50 Greninja, another 50 Greninja, 150 Pikachu binders, 50 Charmander binders, 6 Greninja albums. I don't know what this stuff is. 56 albums, 100 Ultra Pro Sleeve Pokemon Shimmering Skylines, 100 Pikachu something else, 50 Abra playmats. It ended up being 90, well, we'll say around $9,000 to $10,000. And I'm literally talking on the phone with my guy as I'm ordering this stuff. And I said, okay, well, I just ordered 90, we'll say $9,000 to $10,000 worth of supplies. And he's like literally right now. I'm like, yeah. Now you might be thinking, oh wow, that's a lot of money. Well, guess what? I then found Lucario binders and I ordered 80 of those and I spent, we'll say, roughly $2,000 on that. I'm still on the phone with my distro, literally on the phone. Click, 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 click. I got them on speaker. And then I went and ordered 50 Pokemon model kit Entei. And that was like $300 to $500. I did all that knowing that this stuff is probably going to sit for a very long time. I probably won't lose money on it, but if I want it to move, I'm going to have to break even. And otherwise, it's just going to sit in a corner because that's a ticket. Even if that stuff started on fire and it went away and I wasn't insured, it all just blows up into smithereens. I consider that a $12,000 ticket to get more ME3, ME4, ME5. Because if you spend $12,000 on the ticket and you make $100,000 on the good products that you earned from your ticket, Well, then, okay, you netted 85 whatever thousand dollars, and you still have a bunch of junk that one day you might be able to sell. That's the game. If you are a vendor, I just gave you the sauce. If you're a vendor that's bitching that you're not getting product, I just gave you the sauce. Now, you might not have $10,000 to lay down on Ultra Pro bullshit, okay? Buy $2,000 of it. Buy $1,000 of it. Buy 50 things, whatever. Whatever you need to do, buy it. And if you can't afford that, then don't bitch about it. Wait until the bear market, buy the shitty booster boxes when they're out, and just start then. You don't need to start big ballin' right now. You really don't. If you think you need to start ballin' and PJing and Lamborghini right now, well then you're never gonna be wealthy. You're never gonna be financially well off if you're all about now. You need to grow. You think PokeAny.com was, buying $10,000 of Ultra Pro and model kits 4 years ago? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You start small, you work your way up. And if you're not patient enough to make $10 million in 20, 30 years, well, then it's just not for you. Go get a 9 to 5. You'll have benefits, you'll have insurance, you'll have friends. You won't be in a basement all by yourself. And, it looks better on a resume. What am I going to put on my resume? I sold Pokemon cards for 10 years? Come on. And in case you're still scratching your heads at why this particular video was featured, it's because I'm a social media guy. I threw you a curveball for engagement. And in that vein, I'll show you one more clip where he's absolutely correct. And if you guys are aspiring content creators, these are the kind of curveballs you need to throw. Let's play the clip.
You don't have to be a member. It's all through you wanting to support the channel. And I think most people now understand that my character, especially if someone is to call me out, you have to be ready to stand in the fire with me. You have to, and I will test you, because I don't care. I cosplay on the internet, bro. I do not care. You have to be ready to stand in that fire with me, right here next to me. Now, other people that don't get, like Pokey, he doesn't care. Me and him, we're literally, both of us do not care at all. But the fans care. So we're going to put on a show. That's how I look at this whole content creation space. It's all for the fans. All to put on a show. All to make sure that you guys have something to feel, whether it's rage, whether it's happiness, whether you think like you're making a good move because you're copying the moves that I do, whether you're sad, happy, angry.
And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. My little drama spurt this week, it got a lot of people talking. I mean, people would have mentioned the Rattle video either way. Apostle Bud actually made a video completely independent of me. He made it after me, but he had no idea I posted yet. Kira, Shiny Vert, Rock Sandy, they all made videos, and some of them probably watched mine first. Some of them probably made it independently. But, Rattle, he made a video directly in response to mine. And that's factual because he called me out in the video. And if you guys are rap fans, you might remember Kendrick Lamar's Control verse. It was like the most viral verse in rap history, probably. Yeah, at least modern history. And in the Control verse, he called out everybody. He called out people he respects in the rap game. He called out people he doesn't respect. He set the fire in like everyone's freaking soul. And a lot of them responded to it in some kind of battle rap diss, knowing full well that Kendrick wasn't attacking them for the sake of attacking. He was trying to get the rap game buzzing again, because at the time the Control verse was written, there was nothing going on. We got a lot of really good songs because of that Control verse. And then later on, the Kendrick Drake beef, which was a whole nother story, which also spawned a lot of music from other folks, including J. Cole and a bunch of, I don't know, I can't think right now. It's the middle of the night. But yeah, it's all part of the game, baby. Hope you're having a good time. That's all I got to say today, ladies and gentlemen. Buy my stuff at PokeAny.com. Subscribe to the channel, and check out these people in the description. Have a wonderful day.